Hello, you're on time for New Vision TV News. I am Ruth Naseje. Now, the bizarre coup unfolding in Harare with the military coup makers claiming to be saving President Robert Mugabe from bad people in his ruling party manifests the managerial road that has bedeviled the country that was once the hottest employment destination for Makerere University graduates seeking greener pastures. New Vision TV picks some highlights of the degeneration that started almost immediately the country gained independent majority rule in 1980.
On April 18, 1980, the whole world attention was focused on Zimbabwe, which was receiving its independence from Britain. The country had accepted to be recolonized for a year to make independence a reality. It had existed as a rebel state called Southern Rhodesia under white minority rule of Ian Smith. The freedom fighters under Robert Mugabe's ZANU-PF and Joshua Nkomo's ZANU-PF had prevailed, and Britain had accepted to take over and hand over power to the majority. Mugabe had won the elections in February and was being sworn in as Prime Minister that April.
We gon' fight, we gon' fight, we love to fight, we gon' fight, we gonna fight it for our rights.
The highlight of the great event was a performance by the greatest reggae star, Bob Marley. Soon after independence, the harassment of Nkomo's party and his numerous Ndebele community by Mugabe's Shona community started. The Zimbabwean army was being trained by the British, but a special brigade, the 5th Brigade, was created, being trained by North Koreans and composed almost exclusively of Mugabe's tribesmen. The 5th Brigade started wanton killing in Matabeleland, conducting a mini-genocide under the guise of fighting anti-government insurgents. In 1987, Mugabe's party was to make constitutional amendments to make him an executive president and attempt to abolish the 20 parliamentary seats reserved for whites in the 100-seat parliament. The whites did not wait to be terrorized like the Ndebele. They voluntarily voted to have their seats abolished. But cooperating with Mugabe to abolish the reserved seats did not make him any magnanimous towards the new racial minority. The grabbing of farms belonging to whites started. Although land redistribution had been at the very heart of independence struggle, proper procedures had been agreed upon during the one-year-long preparatory negotiations. Britain had provided for half of the money required to compensate the people whose farms were to be taken over. Mugabe threw out the agreed procedures and the reckless evictions started. By the 90s, the alarmed Western world started imposing sanctions on Mugabe's government. Inflation set in, and soon the large sums deposited in Zimbabwean banks for compensation lost value. The economy of the country, to which many Ugandan graduates had gone for greener pastures, employment started declining rapidly. But even after destroying political challenge from Nkomo's ZAPU and the whites, new challenges came up, and younger players led by Morgan Tsvangirai posed a serious electoral threat to Mugabe. In fact, Tsvangirai is believed to have won the 2008 elections by 73%. The Electoral Commission, composed of Mugabe's hand-picked commissioners, took a whole month before they could announce the results. The BBC said that the results were being in slow motion. Finally, the commission announced that Tsvangirai had won with 47%, not enough to take power as he required 50%. A rerun was called, and Tsvangirai refused to take part. Mugabe won by an excessive majority with a low turnout. For months, security forces used to grab Tsvangirai and beat him up. As Zimbabwe's economy continued sliding down, Mugabe stepped up the land grabbing for his so-called veterans. The government stopped computing the inflation rate, which had reached 79 billion%. The Zimbabwean dollar now operates alongside 7 other authorized currencies. 97% of the transactions are conducted using the US dollar, 5% the Southern African rand. A Uganda football referee who officiated at a match in Harare returned to Kampala to become the butt of jokes, having earned several billion Zimbabwe dollars in allowances which were worth a few thousand Uganda shillings. As the economic situation became more desperate, a cabinet meeting chaired by the president himself in 2007 resolved to hire the services of a witch doctor who claimed she could squeeze refined fuel from a stone. The elderly female witch doctor, called Rotina Mavunga, was paid several thousand US dollars and went to work. A year later, Mavunga had failed to squeeze the refined diesel from a stone in a small bush, found some 115 kilometers north of Harare. A humiliated Mugabe ordered for her arrest and she was charged with committing fraud. Mugabe's health started declining and he was since photographed several times sleeping at public functions. Finally, mid-November 2017, when it became clear that Grace, Mugabe's wife, who is about half his age, was scheming to succeed him, the military decided that enough was enough and moved in. Will the new leaders reverse the decline that was inflicted over the once prosperous country?
In other news, the opposition leaders from different political parties have asked government to consider passing a supplementary budget to address the doctors' concerns. The leaders argue that there is need for short and mid-term measures to calm the situation alongside negotiations. It is coming to 2 weeks since doctors went on a sit-down strike. Addressing journalists at a joint press briefing at the Forum for Democratic Change Party headquarters in Najanankumbi, Kampala, the leaders noted that issues of health are crucial to the entire country because they involve people's lives. And in business news, the U.S. Deputy Chief of Mission in Uganda, Colette Marcelin, has called for increased vigilance in the antibiotic regulation in raw drug shops to make sure drugs are properly stored, prescribed and administered by trained persons. Marcelin also called for active participation from both public authorities and members of the scientific community in order to sustain antimicrobial resistance initiatives. And in our sports news, all eyes will be at Bugembe Stadium this Saturday when Butembe and Bunwa meet in the second edition of the Busoga Masaza football finals in what is billed to be the epic clash in front of a big crowd. Sports Minister in the Chabazinga Kingdom, Amin Bossa, revealed that it will be free entrance for all fans to watch in front of their king, William Wilberforce Gawula IV. Bunwa will be heading for their second consecutive finals after losing 3-1 in Buholi North last year, but will even face a stiffer competition against home crowd favorites Butembe. You're still watching New Vision TV, and in our daily Pearl of Africa series, we take a look at why River Mpanga is home like no other. Now, if you're looking for a serene, beautiful and extraordinary environment, Mpanga River offers the best of all. The river next to vegetation that would make everybody appreciate God's work of art. The trees lining up like soldiers on parade, flowers arranged like a home compound, and shrubs dotting the hillside, making the scenery worth looking at. Why not explore River Mpanga? This magnificent river is known as River Mpanga. It is among the so many rivers that flow from the Rwenzori mountain. Through valleys and hills, the streams gather into River Mpanga. This river traverses the districts of Kabarore, Chenjojo and Kamwenge and then pours its water into Lake George. It is surrounded with vegetation that adds a spectacular view to it. Not common with other rivers, Mpanga is blessed with yellow flowers. These shine bright amidst thorns. People enjoy swimming from here because the water is always calm. Besides swimming, hikers enjoy the cool breeze as they traverse the hills surrounding it. For more Pearl of Africa stories, visit our website www.newvision.co.ug. Our newspaper, The Sunday Vision, is also another home of adventures, so get your copy every Sunday for Pearl of Africa stories. And And that's all we had for you. Thank you for watching. Be sure to catch more of your news updates on your mobile phone, on your desktop, on your tablet, and anywhere on the go. You can also visit our website, www.newvision.co.ug. I am Ruth Naseje.